humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, if you go to Amazon, in fact, if you go to most retailers, Dragon Age the Veilguard is on sale for $49.95. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wow, that's way too expensive, and you'd be absolutely right. But I want you to keep in mind that this game has been out for just over 1 month. This game has been out for just over 1 month. This is a supposedly AAA game from BioWare. This is Dragon Age. Do you understand? This game should be the trendsetter for the next 10 years. Dragon Age Origins was something completely revolutionary. It was special. It was a game that I still think about. In fact, I bought it not that long ago. I'm replaying Dragon Age Origins. I got as many of the DLC as I could. And it's such a phenomenal game. But you look at this. You look at this game. You look at the price. You look at how quickly it's dropping. 30% off, basically. 29%, you know. But not only that. You know, you can tell a lot about a game's decline based on the news surrounding it, and the news surrounding this game is not good. Things are not getting better. The Black Friday sales did not elevate it to what people were saying. Oh, it's going to sell really well for the holiday. Nope. Dragon Age the Veilguard. This comes from Grums. Dragon Age Veilguard falls off top 100 list on Steam, beat by Witcher 3, Elder Scrolls Online, and even Fallout 76 and Fallout 4. Black Friday has come and gone, but Veilguard's price is still slashed at 29% at EA Store on Amazon. This is a spectacular failure for BioWare, who can't even keep up with 9-year-old RPGs. Exactly. And for all the people out there, like David, Jeff, and all the backbenchers and all the people saying, "Oh, you just like to farm negativity. You just like to focus on the negativity." Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do when a game that I loved, a franchise that I loved, has been reduced to a joke a month, and it's 30% off, and it's dropped below the top 100 list? Nobody's playing it. Nobody's talking about it anymore except for me trying to, ironically be the only one to breathe life into this game. I want these companies to learn from this. It's like putting a dog's nose in the poop that it made on the rug. The lesson needs to be learned harshly and brutally, that you don't do this. You did bad. You did bad. Bad, BioWare. Bad. No. And this is something that needs to be drilled over and over. These arrogant freaks in this industry that think that they're better than people, they need to be reminded every day that not only are they not better, they're worse than everyone. Their ideas are stagnant and regressive and pathetic. They don't have that it factor, that special something. They're not unique individuals. They are Borgs in a collective, and the collective that they're putting out is shit. You look at these numbers. You look at the numbers, and I mean, it's just it's just bleak. Bleak. Not even making the top 100. But that is embarrassing. And yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, they're gonna blame gamers. Oh yeah, they're gonna blame gamers. Because that's all these freaks can do. These losers. That's all they can do, blame gamers. Like David Jaff. I think it was I think it was the grifters that are to blame. It's like, if you can't see the failure here, if you can't see the problem, then you are the problem. You are a problem. Maybe not this problem, you are one of the problems. Because it is so transparently it is so transparently evident that there are a number of things that people demand of their games in 2024. Obviously, graphical fidelity is one thing, but a standard of writing is also another. Not to mention not being condescended to by the people behind the scenes, especially considering most of those people are, disgusting, degenerate, LGBTQ. Um, you know, they have a over overinflated sense of their abilities. They're not very good people. They're not very good people. That's being downright decent, charitable. They're the worst. They're disgusting, despicable, bottom feeding, unctuous people that nobody wants to be around. But the industry props them up. It doesn't tell them what failures they are, because that is an industry of phonies that is allergic to the truth. And here's the deal. Inside that bubble, you can all lie to each other, kiss each other's ass, tell each other that, oh yeah, trans rights are human rights. Oh yeah, trans women are women. Oh yeah, pronouns. It's such a great idea. It's such a great. Oh, you know what? You know what? People want racially ambiguous characters. They white people. Crusty old white people. Those are the past. You can tell yourself all these lies and all these ridiculous delusional bullshit things, but there's a problem. You're making a product for people outside of your bubble. And once the product reaches the outside of the bubble, it gets shredded because your ideas are shit and you're shit. Your prospect and view of the world is atrocious. It's indefensible. There's nothing that you bring to the table that is particularly compelling. The visage of you, like this guy, what was his name? Hansen? The guy working on Avowed. This guy that looked like some kind of like Timu, some kind of Timu Tectone. This guy that looked like some egg-headed, bearded, soy-infused freak. And they're going to sit there and they're going to lecture you and berate you and talk down to you. You, of all people, you had one job to do and you couldn't even do that decently. You had one job to do, and it wasn't even a particularly hard one. For Avowed, Avowed, it seems like an easy game to make good. You have all the basics there. But unfortunately for these freaks, they're going to be coming into a rude awakening. Because back in 2016, the woke train wasn't over. But people have seen through the facade, they've seen through the illusion. COVID helped to expedite that. And now people are on the other side and they're not having your shit anymore. They're not playing the pronoun game. In fact, some people are saying if I see pronouns at all, I'm not buying the game, which I think is a perfectly valid and reasonable take. If I see ugly women, intentionally ugly women, and you know the type that I'm talking about, I'm not buying the game. There are people saying that, and that's perfectly reasonable, and that's perfectly understandable. There are people that have said enough is enough. And I don't need you, you need me. And that has become abundantly, evidently clear. So, you just take a look at the numbers. No, no, don't worry about it. You take a look at the numbers, and it tells the entire story. There's no escaping it. It's just sort of evident data, statistics. uh, well, I think that this game is getting its final, it's going through its final stages, and ultimately, I think that 30% off. I think in the next couple months you're going to see it at 50, 60. I think that it's going to continue to decline. They've already said that there's no DLC. They've already said that there's no coming back from this. They've already said that there's nothing else. And unfortunately, this is what you have to expect from gaming in 2024 from these companies that claim that they have the best and brightest, that they are the moral activists that have all the answers, that they're on the right side of history. They can do no wrong. And so I'm sitting here looking at this game, looking at this failure, looking at the string of failures, looking at the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have lost their jobs. Hundreds of people that have lost their jobs. Firewalk Studios just one. Oh, we just lost it. We just learned that Ubisoft fired the X Defiant team. That's over 270 people. Bioware is probably not long for this world. That's going to be another couple hundred people minimum. Minimum. These people are dropping like flies. And all of this because they're too arrogant and too proud to admit that we really need to give gamers what they want. And this stemmed from a culture that bred back to 2013 where these people thought that they were better than gamers. You don't have to pander to gamers anymore. Do you remember that redheaded, disgusting, hippie-looking freak named Leigh Alexander? Maybe I should pull up a picture of her. She worked for some gaming publication, Alexander. So it's this abomination here. She worked for Gama Sutra. Yeah, she worked for Gama Sutra. And she wrote an article. Um, Gamers don't have to be your audience anymore. Which was essentially her signaling to other people in the industry that you don't have to make content for gamers. You can make it for political activists and retards on the internet. You can become okay. Gamers are over. Let me see if I can't find this article just to reiterate my point. Gamers are over. Let's see. Yep, here we go. Gamers don't have to. Gamers don't have to be your audience. Gamers are over. Game culture as we know it is kind of embarrassing. It's not even culture. It's buying things, spackling over memes and in jokes repeatedly, and it's getting mad on the internet. I often say I'm a video game culture writer, but lately I don't even know exactly what that means. Game culture as we know it is kind of embarrassing. It's not even culture. It's buying things, spackling over memes, and in jokes repeatedly, and it's getting mad on the internet. It's young men quelling, it's young men queuing with plush mushroom hats and backpacks and jutting promo poster rolls. I mean, queuing passionately for hours at events around the world to see the thing that marketers want them to see, to find out whether they should buy things or not. It's like these freaks genuinely don't have any idea or concept of what being a fan of something is. It is a foreign concept it's a foreign concept to be a fan. Now, this freak has been discredited. I mean, this disgusting abomination has been discredited for years. You don't hear their name anymore because, they've basically been wiped off the face of the earth, metaphorically speaking, of course. Sort of like Anita Sarkeesian. You don't really hear that name anymore. It's something that's been relegated to the dustbin of history. But the fact of the matter is that these creeps lurked there in the gaming space and then made a culture where it was okay to shit on gamers. Well, that's failed. They've failed. So the important thing to do is to learn from this, to learn from their failure that's taken over 10 years to really sort of manifest to the point where we're on the other side of it, and to make a point and a declaration that you are going to start making games for gamers again, that you're going to start making things that you know the audience wants to see. And what they do not want to see are ugly characters, ugly women especially, bad aesthetic choices, bad designs, and you know the type, like Horizon Zero Dawn. That character is ugly and she's fat and she's unappealing, which is why China has made a knockoff, and I'm going to do a video on that pretty quick. They've made a Horizon Zero Dawn like game, but the main character is super attractive. Well, call me crazy. It seems like they found a niche in the market. Take something that these Western freaks have put out and just add attractive women. Add normalcy to the game. China figured that out. China figured it out. But these Western freaks can't. And it's just more of the same. And as these companies crumble, as these people lose their jobs, people like Elon Musk are coming in and saying, hey, look, company, I'm going to offer you AI. And there's some really good things about AI, some not so great things, but there's a lot of good things. And one of the good things is that these arrogant freaks, these condescending, egotistical, disgusting, bottom-feeding sacks of human garbage are going to be out of a job and they're going to be miserable. And I've talked about this, that I'm of two minds on this. I don't like to see people lose their job on principle. On principle, I don't like to see people lose their job. It doesn't feel good. It's heartbreaking. But on the other hand, it's also tough for me to have that position, considering the level of human filth that these people are, the way that they gleefully celebrate when gamers lose, the way they lie to gamers, try to manipulate them, try to get them to give up their money on a false promise, like, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a return to form for Bioware, 9 or 10 out of 10, like it's on the level of Dragon Age Origins. Ridiculous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.